I really like St. Peter. I think he's my favorite apostle. He just seems like such a human being, such a guy. I sort of envision as this big, rugged, bearded fisherman, uneducated, sort of a John Wayne kind of character. But Peter has some brilliant moments. This is one of them right here. When Jesus asked, "Who do you say that I am?" I'm sure the rest of his apostles had in their mind, well, he might be the Son of God. I think he's the Son of God, but I don't want to say it in case I'm wrong. They might ridicule me. Peter just comes out and said, "You are the Christ. You are the anointed one." And Peter was like that. He was impetuous. He had his heart on his sleeve, and he lived his life that way. When Jesus said, "Get out of the boat and walk on the water," he did it. And when they came to arrest Jesus, he's the one who pulled out the sword and cut off the ear of the high priest's servant. So Peter, why did Jesus choose Peter as Pope or the leader of his church? It seems like Peter had this enthusiasm. He had an enthusiasm that maybe the other ones didn't have. And he had that because he had this close personal relationship with Jesus. And we talked a little bit about that relationship here about a month ago when I spoke, and how we need to grow in our relationship with Jesus. You see, Peter, he had that relationship, but he was illiterate. He couldn't even write. He probably couldn't do much math other than what it took to sell fish. Matthew was the tax collector. He was an educated man and later wrote a gospel. Jesus didn't make him the head of the church. John was the most beloved disciple. He didn't make him the head of the church. Jesus chose the man who had the deepest, most personal relationship with him. And that's where we need to be. We cannot just allow ourselves to be satisfied with being a Sunday Mass story. That's fine. That's better than a lot of people do, admittedly. But we always need to be moving forward. That is never enough. None of us are at the end state of where we need to be. None of us are perfectly holy. We all need to be moving forward. And this time I wanted to give some specific ideas as to what we can do to improve that personal relationship. So here are some tips for specific people. First of all, if you have children, junior high or younger, they'll be going to HT camp. That's pretty automatic here. We require that. But HT camp is probably the first place where your children will have an encounter with Jesus personally. And we want to encourage that, and we want to try to keep that going afterwards. But that tends to fade as they go through school. And what we need is a program for our kids before they go off to college, because we know that when our kids go to college, about half of them are going to leave the faith. That's just the honest truth. Half of them. And we need something to fortify them, to build up their faith, to give them that relationship before they leave home and go off to college and become assaulted by the world. And there is something that we can use for that. It's called TECH, Teens Encounter Christ. And that program is not well attended by our parish, and I'd like to see that grow. I went to the tech camp this last August as an observer. They had room for 30 high school, junior, senior high school, through college, just in that age group. And they have room for 30 students or kids there, and they had 11. So those are 19 kids that could have had their faith fortified and reduced their chance of dropping out from the faith when they go off to college. We could have sent 19 more kids there, and we didn't. That was a waste. So I would encourage all parents, get your kids to tech. The second semester junior through college. It's sort of like HT camp. It will reinvigorate their faith. It will get them fired up again. What about we adults? What is there for us? I think the best ministry going on, at least in this area for adults, is CEC, Christians Encounter Christ. Again, it's a similar format to HD Camp and Tech. It's a chance to get to know Jesus personally. And if you've been to CEC years ago and you didn't really follow up with that, it sort of faded, you can go back again. You can go back as a volunteer and experience it again. If you've been to CEC recently and you're saying, what's next for me? What else can I do? I would say the next step is you need to find someone to be a spiritual director for you, someone that you trust who's wise and holy and can lead you to the next step in your faith. So HD Camp is automatically signed up pretty much. Tech, contact the parish office. There is a tech going on next spring that is usually pretty well attended, so you have to get in early. The one in August, as I said, is less well attended. You can also send your kids to that. But you sign up for that to the parish office. For CEC, I would talk to Dean or Nancy Workman. They're very active with that. Many people have been asked to go to CEC and have said no for one reason or the other. And it usually boils down to some kind of, I think, fear of the unknown, because until you go there, you don't really know what happens. I think a lot of people have this impression you're going to have to wave your hands in the air and speak in tongues or tell deep, dark secrets about yourself or something. None of that is true. What these three camps, these 3 weeks and weekends have in common is the power of the story. People simply get up, not you, other people get up and give a witness story as to how they met Jesus and how that changed their life and made their life better. And you just hear several of these stories. And after a while, the Holy Spirit has a chance to work on you and reach into your heart and perhaps change you inside so that you can become a personal friend of Jesus after the end of this weekend. So please do not worry or be afraid about any of these things. It's simply stories. Why am I harping on this personal relationship thing? What's wrong with just going to Mass on the weekends? Well, I think one of the biggest reasons right now, we have a very good illustration. You may have heard we've got a little problem with scandal in the church again. It's bad. From what I read, it's probably worse than it was in 2002, and it's probably going to get worse yet before it gets better. And this is going to damage a great many people. It's not only the people involved, the sinners and the victims, but a great many people sitting in churches who are only marginally attached to the church and to Christ are going to fall away. They're going to say, why should I get up and go to church on Sunday morning and it's a church full of sinners? And that's a problem. We're going to lose souls. We're going to lose a lot of souls before this is over. It's going to get worse before it gets better. It's eventually going to get better. Jesus and Mary are going to clean this church out. We've got 100 years of filth to clean out. It's not going to be pretty. But we will come out of this stronger and better. But meanwhile, how do we stay? The way we stay is to remember that we are not attached to any one particular priest or bishop. This is not the church of Father Cordy and Deacon Phillips. This is not the church of Bishop Lucas or Cardinal McCarrick. This is not even the church of Pope Francis. This is the church of Christ. This is Christ's body. This is his church. He is the one that we need to have that relationship with. He will not let us down. He will punish the guilty. He will bind up the wounds of the injured, and he will lead us home. We need to place our faith and our trust in him. And that is a lot easier if we are like Peter. If we have Peter's faith, if we have Peter's personal relationships, you have a personal friendship with Jesus the way Peter did. When Jesus told Peter to get out of the boat and walk on the water, he didn't hesitate. He did it because he knew Jesus and he trusted him. And that's the place where we all need to try to get. Because Peter was never let down by Jesus. Jesus took him back even after Peter rejected him. And Jesus will never let us down the way some leaders in the church have let us down. So we need to place our faith in him, our trust in him, and our relationship